Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's show. I got my girl with me, Amanda Melendez. She is my loan
Hello.
officer. Say hi, Amanda.
Hola.
So on today's video, we're going to bring you something a little different that I've been getting on my YouTube comments is that you guys are asking questions. Well, I got the girl for you. I got the girl for you. So
You
Amanda.
need to make a song out of that, bitch.
So we keep it real here, and I love Amanda because she likes to keep it real. So we're going to get into VA loans today, and there is a reason why. Tell us a little story about your husband.
My VA boo. So I actually love the fact when I get to do VA loans because it feels like a part of our home almost. So he was in the military for a long time. He did 3 tours, 2 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. So we know all about that life. And then we also know a lot about being able to PCS and being able to move. So the great thing that my clients find about me and that I love to do is I know the lingo. I know everything that goes on inside of that. So whenever you're looking at doing a VA loan, you need to be with somebody who understands and knows what it's like to be a veteran, because then they can talk your language. So I was a military wife for a long time, did that whole thing, and then he got out and is in real estate just like you. But it's awesome to be able to help veterans, but also give them like crazy deals right now, right? Because interest rates are low. What we're also doing with all of the veterans is on my end, I'm actually waiving the lender fee and applying that towards the interest rate to buy it down even lower. So that's what's awesome for the VA vets too.
Awesome. So she already gave you some details on the VA. So I'm going to fire some questions at her and she's going to answer them. So question number 1, Miss Amanda, what is actually a VA loan?
Good question. So a VA loan is only for veterans, or if you're a wife and you have a deceased veteran, a wife can actually obtain a home loan due to her deceased veteran's benefits. So it's one thing where unfortunately it doesn't go down to your children, so your children can't do it. But if you have a spouse, they can actually get that eligibility as well. So VA loan is strictly only for people that have served in the military. And that would also mean there's certain requirements inside of that. So there's also Reserve, National Guard, all that kind of good stuff for military. So definitely reach out to me, reach out to Vic as well, because I can pull that information for you and let you know if you're qualified for the VA loan.
Awesome. Well, you just like wiped out question number 2, because I was going to ask you who was eligible. So
man.
That was done. So the next question I did receive is, I'm looking at the screen, my viewers, okay, because I got the questions over here. And of course, Amanda, I love you, but I just, just got a lot of shit going on right now.
It's all good.
How do I get a VA certificate or eligibility, also known as a COE?
Yes, good question. So there's 2 different ways to do it. If you're wanting to get pre-qualified, we can actually do it for you with your name, date of birth, and social. If you're wanting to do it yourself, go to va.gov, and on there you can actually log in, and there's a place for veterans to start to pull this stuff online. What's awesome is that it used to be old school and you'd have to stay on the phone. All of my vets know if you call the government and go on the phone with the VA, you may be on there for a good hour to 3. So you don't have to do that. You can bypass, go online, and you can actually try to pull it yourself. If that doesn't work, you need your DD-214, and that way we can go ahead and pull it and order it for you.
Wow, damn, look at that. She's got all the answers. Amanda knows what she's doing.
It's the VA lingo. You got to be a veteran.
I'm not a veteran. I did not serve in the military. My entire family did. I did not go.
There you go.
But I'm VA certified. I should have known that. But,
yes, this is true.
All right. The next question I do have from somebody in the comments was, how much home can I get a VA home loan with bad credits? Now, I guess you could talk about the credit scores. I don't know what they mean by bad credit. I guess the lowest FICO that they can actually qualify for.
Good question. So as everyone knows who's watching this, we all in this entire world have been through and are going through COVID, right? So COVID has rocked everything for everybody, including the mortgage world and how low we can go in FICOs, right? So typically we can go as low as 580, no problem. With VA loans, with any type of government loan, VA, FHA, we require that you're actually at a 620. And that is only due to the volatility of the stock market from COVID before. So what that means is that investors who actually purchase these loans, right, they want to make sure that the credit score is a little bit higher just because the state of the economy. So it's more of a protection for them. And then what I'm hoping is that they drop it back down to 580, which more than likely they will. We just don't know when. So 620 is going to be your magic number for now.
620. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next question we do have, Amanda, is what kind of home can I buy with the VA loan? I guess they're trying to say is maybe they could do fourplex, single family, or mobile home.
Gotcha. So VA is very specific about the type of home and the occupancy. So no matter what, it has to be your primary residence. Any type of veteran that's trying to invest, you cannot make an investment home a VA loan. They want it to be your primary residency. That will spawn into another question, which typically is, well, can't I have two homes, with two VA loans? And you actually can, but that gets a little tricky, but you definitely can do it. Now, back to the primary. So it has to be your primary, number one. Number two, typically, depending on how it's zoned, there's certain things that VA will not lend on. So anything above 4 units, they won't lend on for sure. Even 4 units, it's very tricky to get approved because you have to know that we can't use income, right, from other people living there. So it can get very tricky. Typically what I see though is a lot of people just doing a regular single family home, which is just a regular home. And then the good thing is whenever you do that, there's no requirement on zip code, income, anything like that, because it's not an assistance program. It's just something from the government that is an actual benefit.
Gotcha. Ooh, look at that.
And no mobile homes.
What's that?
I said no mobile homes.
No mobile homes. So yeah,
Yes,
I had a comment that said, hey, can I use my VA for a mobile home? And I was like,
yeah.
I had to Google it real quick. I said, I believe not, but I'm shooting a video next week with the best lender in Arizona. So we'll get right back to you. So I guess you kind of answered these questions, but can I use a VA loan more than twice? You already answered that one. So if you missed that question, just hit rewind about maybe a minute, and Amanda went through that. Mm-hmm. Oh, will I have to pay for private mortgage insurance? One question. And then I guess you can piggyback off this other question, Amanda, is can I refinance my VA loan?
Good. So the first question, I totally just blanked. What was the first question?
Can I use, will I have to pay for private mortgage insurance?
That's what it was. Okay, yes. So the answer is no. There is no private mortgage insurance. There's no nesting on VA loans. Some of the best benefits of them is number one, that, so no matter what your FICO is, as long as you're at the 620 or higher, then you don't have to pay for the mortgage insurance. That's why people love VA loans, is because you don't have that extra $100 to $300 in your payment, right? The second thing is rates are lower typically for the government loans for veterans, which is really nice as well. And the third thing that's a really good perk about VA loans is there's no down payment. So there are closing costs, but my man Victor can negotiate the heck out of that. But it is something to where the down payment is at 0, which is awesome. So those are some perks, but to answer your question, no on the mortgage insurance. And then you asked me if you can use it twice, right?
You already went through that we can use the VA twice. It's a little tricky, right? You can use the VA twice, but can you refinance a VA loan? I guess what they're trying to say is move it to a conventional or just refinance it. Got it. Better rate.
So if you bought it as a conventional and wanted to refinance into a VA and you didn't use your benefit, right? Yeah, so technically, yes. Let's just say your home right now is a conventional or FHA. and you didn't go VA for some reason, we can actually pull that certificate of eligibility to see if you're eligible. And if you are, you can take any loan, any primary loan that you have out of that, and you can refinance it into a VA loan. The other thing with refinances is called a VA interest rate reduction loan, also known as an EARL. What that means is that it's kind of like an FHA streamline loan. So we don't ask for income. We don't ask for almost anything on the loan. You would just take your original VA loan and you refinance it into an interest rate reduction loan to drop the interest rate and drop the payment. And those take literally 5 to 10 days and you're done. So those are some perks too. Once you buy the home and secure the property, you can refinance later.
I got a quick question, just opening the box here. If I bought my house with a VA loan, could I refinance it to reuse the certificate and put that financing on the house as a conventional loan and go buy another property with VA? Or, well, it's not, it has to be primary, so you can't do that.
Yeah, it's tricky because you can hold two homes, but the home you're going to, the home that you're doing the loan on, has to be your primary. And the other home also has to have their distance requirements. And then it cannot be used as an investment at all. And then the third thing is there are requirements on how much of a home you can buy when you have two of them on VA loans. So you cannot buy two homes for $500,000. It's too much eligibility in Arizona. Hawaii and Alaska are a little bit different. So for anybody that's there, those states are different. But Arizona and most states in the country are like that as well. So you'll have to get with me on how much you can use of your eligibility and of your entitlement if you're wanting to do two homes. So holding one and purchasing another.
Awesome. Answered my question and my viewers' question. Now, one question I do get a lot is, what is a VA funding fee and how is it paid?
Yes. So the VA funding fee is very interesting because a lot of times, even when my husband got out of the military, we were like, yeah, we're going to use our VA loan. And then all of a sudden we see this, 2.5, 2.15 at that time, funding fee. And we're like, what is that? Why is the government charging me to use this loan? So I will leave that up to the government because I am not inside of that wheelhouse. However, if you have VA benefits that you're getting, let's just say you're out of the military, you separated from service, and you went to the VA hospital, you got, all your medical records, and now you're getting $1,000 a month or $150 a month from the government for the rest of your life. Typically, anyone who has those benefits, they're going to be exempt from this fee. So like my husband and I, we have those benefits that we get, and we're exempt from that funding fee. If you're not exempt, your certificate of eligibility will come back and say, you're not exempt from this funding fee and you have to actually pay it. The great thing about the VA loans is you get to roll it into the loan. So you don't physically owe anybody that money. It just gets tacked on to your loan amount. And then your question from before was, can you use it over and over? Yes. That is a perk of the VA loan, is you can use it over and over and over again. There's no expiration date on it. However, if you do have to pay that funding fee, the second time you use it, which is subsequent funding use, your funding fee is higher. It's about 1% higher. So those are all things that I can go over with you depending on, everybody's different. Every veteran's different. Every loan situation is different. But that is the general information on it.
Woohoo! That's a lot of detail right there. Great details.
Yeah.
All right. One other question I have is when you're using a VA loan, you can't pay for certain items when you're purchasing the house, like the termite report, inspection. There's a couple other items. Can you kind of break it down of why we can't pay for it and we have to have the seller pay for it, or kind of make it seem like they're paying for it in the contract?
Right. Good insert in there, because that's true. So this is a question I get a lot, even from my veterans, even from agents, is, doesn't the seller have to pay for all of my closing costs? Like, isn't that a VA requirement? And it's not a VA requirement at all. Actually, the buyer can pay for all of their closing costs, except for, like Vic said, the termite inspection if you're in a termite state. And then there's a few title fees. So not lender fees, nothing like that. There's a few title fees. Typically, it's like a recording fee, a grant fee. Some states is a deed fee. But there's small fees compared to the large amount of closing costs. But yes, there's basically about 4 things that the veteran can't pay for. The reason they do that, and again, I'm not inside the government's wheelhouse, but what I've learned is that the reason they do that, they feel that that should not be a cost obtained by the veteran. That should be something that it's almost like a mild thank you, right? Is to be able to have certain fees paid for by the seller. But yeah, just like you said, that can all be hidden, negotiated, all that good stuff too. So
Awesome. I get that question a lot. So that's why I always direct
yes.
it. Like, talk to my girl. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah. I get that a lot too. They're like, no, I swear that the sellers are supposed to pay for this. And I'm like, that would be amazing, right? It would be amazing if you had no down payment, seller pays for all your closing costs, you come in with 0, which has happened a lot with my veterans. But just know that Vic does a really good job at negotiating that part. And then if the seller doesn't want to pay for all of it, sometimes he can get half or some type of credit in there. So there's always a way, even if the VA loan doesn't allow them to pay all those fees.
You don't know what you will receive if you don't ask for it. That's the way I put
Amen. Amen.
So I get this question was, it came from one of my clients, actually my YouTube comments is, can a VA loan be denied and how is it denied? So I guess this is from somebody who was like in Florida. I guess they were trying to purchase something and they're like, hey, my VA loan got denied. I don't know why. So why is it denied?
So brings up a lot of red flags. It's just, number one, you should always know if you're being denied or declined, you should always know why. If you don't know why, that means that the loan officer or the entity did not do their job. You should always know why you're declined. Now, reasons why you may be declined, it's almost like any other type of loan. The one thing that sticks out in VA loans is, and not to get too technical on you, but basically the government has a number that they can track you by. For VA and FHA, it's called KVERS. This number basically follows you, and we have the secret code to get into there and pull this information. If the information comes back that you owe the federal government in any type of way, there's a flag on it. And it says, hey, we got to dive into this. It looks like maybe they owed for student loans were in default. Or maybe there was a foreclosure and nobody could find it and it popped up on this identification number. So that is the main one that I see that most people don't realize happening behind the scenes with government loans, is the government will always find you, just like the IRS, right? They'll always find you. This is their way of keeping track whenever you purchase real estate or utilize those benefits, is that they're going to make sure that you don't owe them in any type of way, in a negative way. So if you have student loans and you're on time, great. If you're in default, we can still help you. We just got to get on the payment plan, right? Right? Same thing with other things in the housing world. If you're in default, just reach out to us so we can actually help you and get on that plan.
You brought up an interesting question. Actually, a statement is, you brought up foreclosure, and then we went through the short sale issue back in 2008. So yes. When can you use your VA if you had a foreclosure, short sale, and the different bankruptcies? Because I know that's going to be, somebody's going to come and be like, hey, you didn't go through those 4 items.
Mm-hmm. So VA is really simple, and this is as of today. So whatever day you're posting this, please let me preface with all of the changes that are going on in the world. Our guidelines can change too, right? So lending guidelines can change due to the economy. So as of right now, it's basically a 2-year window. So if you've had a bankruptcy and you're 2 years from the discharge date, then you're eligible. If you've had a foreclosure 2 years from that date, then you're eligible. Short sale, same thing. So VA keeps it very simple. They put 2 years on all of those things. So that's the nice thing. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now I know somebody's gonna ask that in one of the comments. So that's
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. And that's
Now,
a big question, because sometimes it doesn't even show up, like, it won't even show up to the client, and then all of a sudden it's on the credit report and it's something they forgot about like 10 years ago. It's okay. As long as it's discharged, that's all that we care about. So it's okay if you don't remember one, we'll find it and we'll just ask you about it. So it becomes a non-issue when it's that old.
woohoo. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I don't think we asked, I'd asked you this question. What's the max value of a house that somebody can purchase using a VA loan? And also, is comparing VA with FHA and conventional, is it better to use your VA, or would it be better to use FHA or conventional? So 2 questions: the max purchase price and comparing VA with FHA and conventional.
So max purchase price, they changed this year, actually, or the end of last year, I think. One of those two. It was either beginning of this year or end of last year. So it used to be max purchase price. And again, we're talking about most states in the country, and then as well as Arizona. So Alaska and Hawaii are kind of on their own little island to have higher values, as well as California. But typically it's about $484,000. However, what they did when they amended that this year is, due to entitlement amounts, they actually don't have a quote unquote max anymore. They adjusted the verbiage with it. So that's something that we always have to pay attention to, as long as you don't go into a jumbo loan, which basically means a very high balance loan to have 2 types of loans, right? Your primary loan and then a second attached to it. You can still go VA, but you're going to have to pay a down payment for the difference. So there's a lot of intricate things when we start going typically above that 550 range. There's a lot of intricate things with max loan amounts. So definitely get with us if you're up in that range, and you're not in those states that allow that. We can definitely let you know what the max amount would be by a calculation. Second question.
So,
what was your second question?
So if I wanted to use my VA loan, right, what would be the difference between FHA, using FHA or conventional? Yes. Would it be better to you if the rate is different? If I wanted to, not use the VA, go into some other product with a better rate, credit scores?
Right.
I'm pretty much doing versus.
Okay. So in my opinion, in almost all scenarios, when you're doing a primary purchase, VA will almost always be better for a few reasons. Number one, down payment alone, you can get, a $500,000 house and not put any money down. That's awesome, right? Like, I mean, who wouldn't want that? And you're not getting penalized for it, right? And a higher interest rate, which is really nice. So the second reason is, for a VA loan, you do get lower rates. It's a government loan, so you will get lower options for rates, which is awesome. The third reason, in my opinion, that VA loans, if you have the eligibility to use it, because you can use it over and over again, it can create a lot of cash flow for you. And that's something that some people don't think about, is the less you have to put down and are required to put down, that's more in your pocket, right? Sometimes people care about monthly payments. Other times they're just like, I don't want to put all that money down and I'm okay with the higher payment. VA gives you those options. It gives you those options to say, hey, you can buy down your interest rate. It's already low. Go ahead and buy it down even lower. Again, the private mortgage insurance, especially with FHA, the private mortgage insurance will always be on the loan for the life of it. You can never get rid of it. So VA, you don't have mortgage insurance, so you don't have to worry about that. So my biggest thing would probably be to go VA in most scenarios. There's some that I wouldn't, but most scenarios I would say if you're eligible, go for it. Conventional and FHA, conventional will always require a little bit more down, as you know, and FHA, that mortgage insurance is a sticker. So.
Gotcha. Well, that's some great details. I guess that's all the questions. Now let's get into the VA Nitro hot list. What did I not ask you that comes to your mind about VA loans for my subscribers and our clients?
So one of them is who can be on the VA loan. I get this a lot.
Cosigner, that's right. Cosigner.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yes. So cosigners, The only person, there's only two people or entities that can be on there with you. Number one is a spouse. So no matter what, the spouse can be on there with you. Number two is what we call joint entitlement, which means if, let's just say, you're a single bachelor, right? And you have a buddy that wants to go in on the house with you and he's also a veteran. You can use that as dual entitlement and be able to use the actual benefits that way, which is really, really nice. So a lot of people forget about that as well.
What about gifting of funds for the down payment, like from mom, dad, a friend or family? Can that happen with VA?
Absolutely, yeah. And VA is a lot. Sometimes when I speak with loan officers or when I'm recruiting, people are scared of VA loans, and I love them because it is black and white, but there's some stuff that you can play with in between, which is really nice. So that's one of them, as far as being able to say they have more lenient guidelines when it comes to debt to income ratios, when it comes to gift funds, when it comes to even FICO scores. The underwriting is a lot different for that. So what that means to all the viewers out there is that maybe on a conventional loan, right, the conventional loan won't be approved because you don't have deep credit history. But on a VA loan, you're a veteran, they almost give you a pass with that. They say you're a veteran, it's going to be a little bit more lax on the credit history. We're going to be able to have, you're going to be able to have more debt and not need to be at a certain threshold like you would for conventional. So those are some things too on your VA Nitro list that are always good to know too, is that they are a little bit more lenient when it comes to underwriting. So that's nice.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. Again, Amanda Melendez. She is with Melco. What's the last name of the loan?
Really, Vic? Melco Legacy Loans at
Melco.
Security National.
There you go. You see, it's been a long day. But I'm going to put her information below in the description. But you most definitely, if you have any questions about VA loans, reach out to her, reach out to me. Most definitely tell you the way it is, just like we do in this YouTube channel. Once again, if you have not done so, click the subscribe button and that bell to get notified once we drop the latest video. I mean, we're just bringing some home buyer content, today's VA content, okay, seller tips, and the Phoenix real estate market updates. So you can be mindful when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in some real estate. We will see you on the next video. If you have any questions, email me at victor@freeagentproperties.com. Again, that email address is victor@freeagentproperties.com, where we release new videos each week on home buyer tips, home seller tips, the Phoenix housing market updates, so you can be mindful when you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We will talk to you soon.